This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
He stop back over. I want to get this.
It was actually April 9th, 1970. And we had a physics assignment that was due.
Okay.
And at that time, she was Sister Joan Marie.
Wow.
And so at about 2 o'clock, because I was supposed to be going home to meet my dad at just before 3 to get the car because I had to go shopping for some graduation stuff.
Yes, sir.
And I misplaced the paper, and so then Mary Medell says, "You just go right ahead, I'll find it." And I'm on my way walking home, coming down 6th Street, and my dad comes up the road heading north, and he kind of swerved toward the sidewalk like he was going to stop and pick me up, and he just kind of waved and kept going. And so then I'm wondering, like, man, I need the car. And lo and behold, 2 hours later, people come to the hospital and pick us up and say, you need to go with us to the hospital. It was a policeman. And in fact, there was another guy here that was just talking to your uncle, Joe, that he was saying we've been knowing each other forever. It was his dad, the a plant manager, and a policeman that came and picked us up from the house and went and found out my father had been killed. So we definitely, it's not, some people might say it's a negative connection, but we definitely have a connection throughout the years, and that was 46 years ago.
Wow.
And now she's no longer Sister Joan Marie.
I'm still Joan Marie, though.
She's still Joan Marie.
I'm still a sister to a lot of people.
She's still a sister. In fact, she's my sister. And through the years, we have had family gatherings, and she is truly a part of the family. So
I'm so grateful for that.
Did I tell you I talked to Vincent yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw you last night.
That's right.
And I also want to ask you what's your thoughts about Herbert Hurd Sr.?
Of course, we were over to the house several times, but as far as education goes, he wanted an absolute quality education. So I taught chemistry and physics, and he said, make sure you give them the best background that you can.
That's right. Which was the reason we were going to parochial school, because he said they need that quality education. He was very big on education, very big.
So I'm trying to go with the fact that the obituary he had said black leader. That's interesting. They actually called him. So he was.
He was in terms of the civil rights movement, but in terms of we didn't have what was called a board of education, or maybe they did for the whole diocese. But he was intricately involved with the education at St. Joseph's, and it was and people. In fact, if you talk to people in the community at that time, the education you got at St. Joe's was far superior than you got at any other school. And particularly because Father Brian was talking about the fact that even at the elementary level, the students there were reading way above grade level, because that was something that was pushed at that school. So,
and we took in a lot of students. Who had been suspended and whatnot from other schools, and we just added them to our whole community. And that's it. We had a community. Every Wednesday, remember? Our Wednesdays. We didn't have parents, even though they were Baptist or whatever, we were Catholic, they wanted some kind of a religious education. But what we did is we dedicated every Wednesday afternoon to an activity that would grow us in love with each other. And even once we walked down to the movie to see The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, remember that?
Yes, right.
But we would have one, and the students would all be involved in what was happening in those sessions. There would be, one week would be students talking to each other on a particular theme, and might be an introduction the week before. We might have a speaker come in, And once we walked to the movie theater, and then the last one would be a prayer service, but it was put together by the students. And there was very much student involvement in it all.
We were like a community school.
We were very much like...
very much.
And
Wow.
you know how this, and I attribute this to Sister Ardith, she was Sister Richardine at the time as well. But she did so many things to involve students. You ordinarily have faculty meetings, and sometimes what happens is some people end up talking, well, I'm having trouble with this person in class, etc. To stop that from happening and for having a positive attitude, guess what? A student was invited to all of the faculty meetings, which was so wonderful.
I'll tell you something else that she was very instrumental in, is ours was the first graduating class where we did not graduate with the students from the rest of the diocese. Every year they had one graduation for all of the Catholic students throughout the city of Saginaw. And in our class, ours was the first one where we said we don't want to do that. And she didn't particularly like the idea, but she respected it. And she left me with a phrase that I've carried all my life. She says, when you're walling out things, be careful with, no, she says, when you're trying to wall in things, such as us trying to make sure we kept ourselves secluded, she said, be careful what you're walling out. And see, and I think that holds so much relevance for today, because we have the young people that are talking about me, and they're walling themselves in. But when they go out into society, we still live in America. And I'm particularly talking about black students. You still live in America. And when you are walling yourself in, you need to be aware of what you're walling out, because you still have to function in this world. And like I said, she left me with that thought, and it has come to relevance so many times over the last 46 years, to be careful when you're walling something in. Be careful to know what you're walling out.
Well, I came to St. Joe's when I was 25 years old, not very much older than my students were.
That's right.
So I am eternally grateful, because I feel I was raised in this community.
Wow.
And I'm a much better person for it.
Which is what Father talked about today in his homily, is that you're left feeling better and you are a better person.
Absolutely.
So it's a touching lives.
Wow, thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah. And thank y'all. Wow, this is amazing. I was thinking about him today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop by here regardless if I'm going to go back home. I'm going to stop by here.
Yeah, they kept saying it. I thought they were going 7 paces this way, but it's 7 paces right across.
7, God.
7 7. And it says 7.
I'm into numerology.
Yeah. 7. Yeah, 7 paces right across, and right in the same line.
Wow. So it was meant to be.
Yep, that was meant to be. That was meant to be.
So